The Vrix had conquered 14 star systems before they encountered humanity. Their method was always the same: capture, terrify, break. Fear was their greatest weapon, and the detention cells of the Night Fang carrier were designed to manufacture it in industrial quantities. Commander Zelrith watched through the observation panel as two guards dragged the human female toward Cell 7. Dr. Kayla. Monroe didn't scream or plead. She simply walked between them with an unsettling calmness, her medical insignia still visible on her torn uniform. Blood, not her own, stained her hands from the field hospital they'd raided. "This one refuses interrogation," Zelrith's lieutenant reported, mandibles clicking with frustration. "She won't reveal the location of the human resistance base. Standard torture protocols have failed." Zelrith's three eyes narrowed. Humans were supposed to be easy prey, soft, fragile, emotional. Yet this one had endured 3 cycles of neural stimulation without breaking. "Put her in with Ravik." The lieutenant's scales paled. "Commander, Ravik hasn't eaten in 6 days. I know exactly what he is." Zelrith's smile revealed rows of serrated teeth. "And when he's done with her, we'll retrieve whatever's left and show the footage to her comrades." Fear spreads faster than disease. The cell door opened with a pneumatic hiss. Kayla was shoved inside, stumbling onto cold metal flooring. The door sealed behind her with a finality that would have terrified most creatures in the galaxy. She wasn't most creatures. Rising slowly, Kayla assessed her surroundings with practiced efficiency. The cell was large, 20 meters across, and mostly dark except for a dim orange glow from bioluminescent panels. The air smelled of musk and old blood, and in the far corner she saw him. Ravik was enormous, even by Vrix standards. 3 meters of corded muscle covered in midnight black fur, with 6 powerful limbs ending in claws that could shred starship hull plating. His species, the Carnathi, were the Vrix's most prized weapons. Shock troops, living nightmares. They'd been bioengineered for one purpose: to kill without hesitation, without mercy, without question. 2 amber eyes fixed on her from the darkness. A low growl rumbled through the cell, vibrating in her chest. Kayla sat down cross-legged and began examining a cut on her forearm. The growl intensified. Ravik emerged from the shadows, his massive frame moving with predatory grace. He circled her slowly, claws clicking against the floor. The Carnathi had killed 17 prisoners in this very cell. The Vrix had stopped cleaning the walls to maximize the psychological impact. Kayla tore a strip from her uniform and began bandaging her arm. Ravik's circling stopped. He loomed directly behind her, close enough that she could feel his breath, hot and rancid, on her neck. His maw opened, revealing fangs designed to crush bone. The observation panel lit up as a dozen Vrix pressed close to watch the inevitable carnage. "You should probably eat something," Kayla said without turning around. Her voice was steady, almost conversational. "Starvation makes you weak. Makes you their tool instead of your own creature." The jaws didn't close, but they didn't bite either. "They're watching us," she continued, securing the bandage with her teeth. "They want you to kill me. They want me to scream. That's what they feed on. Not flesh, but fear." She finally turned to face him, meeting those alien eyes without flinching. "I'm a medic. I've held dying soldiers in my arms. I've performed surgery under bombardment. I've seen things that would break most minds." A small smile touched her lips. "So here's the thing, Ravik. I ran out of fear a long time ago." The Carnathi's head tilted, confusion flickering across features designed only for rage. In all his cycles of existence, prey had never spoken to him, never looked at him. They always ran or froze or begged. This human did none of those things. Slowly, deliberately, Ravik sat back on his haunches. His claws retracted. At the observation panel, Commander Zelrith's confidence began to crack. "Tell me about yourself," Kayla said, as casually as if they were sharing coffee. "Before they made you this." Something ancient stirred in Ravik's consciousness. Memories the Vrix had tried to erase. Being captured as a juvenile. The surgeries. The conditioning. The neural implants that suppressed everything except aggression. He couldn't speak. His vocal cords had been surgically altered, but he moved closer. Curious now rather than threatening, Kayla noticed the scars, the implant ports, the signs of brutal modification. Her medic's eye cataloged each atrocity. "They did this to you," she said softly. "Took away your choice. Your voice. Yourself." She reached out slowly, giving him time to react. When he didn't snap at her hand, she gently touched the fur near his shoulder. I'm sorry. No one deserves that. Ravik's entire body shuddered. It was the first kind touch he'd received in 7 years. In the observation room, Zelrith slammed his appendage against the console.
Gas the cell.
Sedate them both. But his lieutenant hesitated, watching something unprecedented unfold. They sat together in that cell for hours. Kayla talked about Earth, about medicine, about her choice to serve in the Resistance. Ravik listened with an intensity that transcended language. When she examined his implants, identifying which ones caused pain, which ones controlled his behavior, he allowed it, trusted her. These 3, she pointed to nodes at the base of his skull, are suppression implants. If I could remove them, Ravik's eyes widened. Then carefully he lowered his massive head into her lap. Kayla's hands trembled for the first time, but not from fear. From responsibility. She had no tools, no anesthetic, no sterile environment. But she had knowledge, steady hands, and a patient who was asking for freedom. Using a sharp piece of broken metal from the floor, she began to work. The procedure took 3 hours. Ravik never moved, never made a sound, even when the pain must have been excruciating. When the final implant clattered to the floor, sparking and dying, something fundamental changed in his eyes. He could think again, feel again, choose again. The cell door burst open. 6 armed Vrix guards rushed in, weapons raised. Commander Zelrith entered behind them, furious at losing his perfect monster. Ravik, kill the human, now! That's an order. The Karnathi rose to his full, terrifying height. He looked at Zelrith, then at Kayla. Then he made his choice. The carnage was swift and absolute. Ravik moved through the guards like a force of nature, but now with precision, with purpose, with rage that had been building for 7 years. When it was over, Commander Zelrith lay broken against the wall, watching his perfect weapon walk away with the human who had freed him. Epilogue: The Human Resistance found Dr. Kayla Monroe and her unusual companion 3 days later. The Vrix carrier Nightfang was drifting, powerless, its crew scattered. Security footage showed everything. 1 human and 1 Karnathi working together, liberating other prisoners, seizing control. When questioned about her immunity to fear, Kayla simply smiled. I'm not immune to fear. I just know something more powerful, compassion. And compassion, she glanced at Ravik, who stood protectively beside her, can turn the deadliest weapon into the greatest ally. Ravik's rumbling growl sounded almost like agreement. Throughout the galaxy, the Vrix learned a new lesson about humanity. They didn't conquer through fear. They won through connection, and that was far more dangerous than any weapon.